Good day and welcome to another episode of Math Snacks. I'd like to introduce Miss Glovely and with Miss Wonderful. Miss Glovely, you know we have a guest speaker in today?
We do?
Yes. Her name is Miss the Point.
No. I think her name is Miss Pointer.
Oh, Miss Pointer. Well, I've got to tell you a little bit about Miss Pointer. Miss Pointer, I saw at some conferences. She's the author of Get It, Got It, Go workshop.
Really?
And Handwriting Without Tears.
Cool.
And so I know she has some really neat things to share with us today.
Does she know about math too?
She does.
Good.
She has worked with primary students. Well, I'll let Miss the Point?
No, Miss Pointer
share with us a little bit about herself and what she knows about math.
Well, I know that kids have to have manipulatives to count. And I know that they have to build on their number sense. And they're building on their prior knowledge. And they don't come to us with very much. So that's what I am trying to do with preschool age children and kindergarten age children, is to help them have a better understanding concepts of math.
Well, Miss Pointer, you need to help me know a lot, because someday I'm hoping to have grandchildren. And you know, I worked with older children, so I need a lot of help knowing what to do with those little tiny kids.
Well, just bring them right to us.
Okay.
Miss Pointer, what are you going to be teaching us and working with today?
Well, I really want to show you how to help children understand estimation. So I guess the first thing we need to really remember is estimation is all about guessing and playing, basically just having fun with numbers.
Estimating is a hard thing even for older kids to do. So what do you do with young kids to help with estimation?
Well, I think we have to start really small instead of getting out there really big with numbers. I think we have to really start with small numbers. Smaller numbers are what children know. They may know 12 and 15 and even numbers larger than that, but really for children to understand number concepts, you have to start with the ones that they know or the ones that they'll be most familiar with first. So a lot of times when you're dealing with 4 and 5-year-olds, they usually know that they're 4 years old or 5 years old. So that's usually between 0 and 5. That's a really good place for children to start.
Okay.
Cool. So, what would you like to start with?
Well, I think what we need to have first is a representation of their numbers. So let's go ahead and put a number line in front of them.
Okay.
And those numbers are not very dark on the screen.
Can we do this? Can I just write the numbers?
That would be really helpful. That would be great. So we know that there will be a tape. It could be an adding machine tape. It could be just cardstock. Whatever you want to provide for a visual for children so that they realize that it's a number in sequence.
Okay.
The next thing
we like number lines, by the way. We use number lines in a lot of math concepts, so it's really cool to know that primary kids are using number lines too.
Well, and now that you brought that up, it makes me think of numbers when you talk about number concepts. What comes before 2, what comes after 2, what comes after 5. They can maybe predict the next number. So there's several things that you can do with a number line.
Cool.
Okay? Well, the next thing we might want to do is talk to the children and tell them that you have a estimation key, and you're going to put that in front of them.
Like something like this?
Just like that.
Cool.
And you're going to notice there's not very many objects in that jar, and that's the whole purpose. There's not very many pieces in there, but the children are going to look at that number. And then after they look at that number, we're going to take that away.
Okay.
And they might have a manipulative of some sort, something like that, and they would have to guess how many objects were in that jar. So they might slide that manipulative to a number that they are either familiar with or that they might think that is in that jar.
I think 4.
Well, 5's my favorite number, so I'm guessing 5.
You know, children do that, don't they?
They do.
They do. And when you did that, Miss Glovely, and you put it down to 4, did you just know that 4 was 4?
Did I just know that 4 was 4? Probably, yes.
Did you count?
Because of my prior knowledge, but yes, I probably did count them.
Well, you know, and sometimes even children will start with 1 and they'll count to get to that number. But I noticed that you just moved it there automatically.
Okay, so they would do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Some children would.
Okay.
But so you went ahead. Now wait a minute. Did you decide to go ahead and move it to 4 or to 5?
I did 4.
I
Miss
chose 5,
Wonderful
'cause
did
it's
5
my
because
Miss-
it's her favorite.
Okay, Miss Wonderful, we'll just keep it on yours, okay?
Okay.
So now what we're going to do is we're
I
going to...
must be right, Miss Lovely.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, well, now that we've done that, what we're going to do is ask the children to bring the jar back in.
Okay.
And so the children would enjoy taking those pieces out. You know, teachers don't
I
need to
do
do
that.
that. That's the part that the kids love to do. So we're going to drop those out. Now, really, when you want to have children check their estimation, you're going to want to place those objects one-to-one correspondence, one on the 1, and then a second one on 2, and a third one. Oh, no, my gosh.
And
listen
guess what?
to ordinal numbers.
And look at that. My favorite color is on the number.
No kidding?
Yep, blue. Blue is on 4.
So now, see, you knew that it was just 4, but we're going to double check and make sure that you're accurate or you're correct. So let's start with the beginning and count and see how many we have.
1,
2,
2,
3,
4.
4.
Yay. So this
Oh.
little manipulative should have been right there, shouldn't it?
But was your guess or estimation pretty darn close?
It was very close.
It was really close. And how many away were you from 4?
I was 1 away.
That's correct.
Just 1 away. So that
That's a good estimation.
was a really good estimation.
But if I had thought it was here,
That's
are
not
you saying that's not very good, Miss Pointer?
Well, I'm just wondering if you, it's a really good way to assess what kids know as far as number concepts as well. But if you're thinking it was just 1, that's telling me as a teacher that we need to do a better job of having number sense and counting with you. But it is a long ways away. So that tells me that in that jar of just 4, you were not able to really grasp the number sense that was in that jar. But, you know, what if you were right in through here?
closer.
You're closer.
Well,
And if it was 3,
sometimes-
3 would just be 1 away as well as 5.
And
That's
would
right.
it make a difference if we were, depending on the context? I mean, if it was 2 might be close if we're getting close to 4, if it's 2 inches or 4 inches or 2 centimeters or 4 centimeters. But if it was 2 pizzas versus 4 pizzas or something bigger, does that make a difference on how close we are, how close that estimate is?
Well, you know, it could.
Or if it was $2,000 or $4,000,
I
we
think-
like working in dollars.
Yes, and I think if the range is larger, I mean, when we're talking primary children, the range here is not very large, so the estimates need to be relatively close. Whereas if you were with bigger numbers or a larger range of numbers, then you might be a little further away.
So if there were like 99 beans and I was just 1 away and I said 98,
that would be an excellent estimate at that
That would
point.
be really good.
okay.
The part that I love about this, because you're talking about very broad numbers right now, and
Right.
so for me, if I was estimating, it would be hard for me to be successful with that
Big
broad of a
number.
range and not really having a strong grasp on number sense already anyway. But if you're using a smaller number line like this, my chances of being more successful at this are greater.
That's correct.
And basically, when I'm successful, I'm going to probably learn a little bit more.
Well, and I think kids would be very successful doing this. I love this. I wish somebody had taught me to estimate like this.
Well, I'm excited to try it with bigger numbers, and I'm even more excited to play tricks on maybe another time when we're estimating and change things up just a little bit.
Awesome. Didn't I tell you, Miss Glovely, I saw her at a conference and she's awesome?
Yes, and now if you can just remember her name, it's
Miss Pointer. Well, Miss Pointer, thank you for joining Miss Glovely and Miss Wonderful in another episode
Thank you.
of Math Snacks.